Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I'm going to be going through 30, yes you heard it right, 30 middle grade books that are coming out in July, August and September that I am personally excited about. So I do this video every quarter, so this is quarter 3, and if you want to check out any of the other videos in this sort of upcoming middle grade series per quarter series, then I will have some of them linked down in the description box. So 30 books is quite a lot to talk about, so I don't want to waffle on too much. I do want to say I might not be able to fit all of the pre-order links in the description box below, so I might have to make a list on uk.bookshop.org for you to be able to pre-order them, but I will try and see if the word count of the description box will fit in all of the pre-orders, but if not, that is the next best thing, I think. There are obviously way more than 30 books coming out in July, August and September. I do have a link to a spreadsheet in the description box to a Google Sheets that I like to try and update as much as I can when I find out about new and upcoming middle grade releases in 2021. So do check that out. If there is a book that you are excited for that is not on this list, it might be in that spreadsheet. Before I move on, I do want to say if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean the world to me. So let's get into the video. So we're going in date order, but also alphabetical order by author surname within that date. So the first one I want to talk about is Crowfall by Hardy. This one comes out on July 1st. I do have a finished copy of it, which I not long finished, and it's honestly fantastic. So Crowfall is about a young boy called Oren, and he lives in Ironhold. Ironhold is this orderly community on this island, and there is this Eod, I think that's how you pronounce it, that kind of gives it life. It's sort of like that balance between nature and technology, and Oren finds out that the island is slowly dying, so he ends up accidentally going on this incredible adventure, which I don't want to spoil, but things happen, things get set into motion in Oren, along with Cody, who is like this fixie, who is like this little incredible robot, and it's such a great story. I absolutely loved it. So that comes out on July 1st. I will be having an interview with Hardy about Crowfall on July 2nd, so do check that out. I will leave a link to the interview down below so that you can set a reminder if you want to see it live or catch it after it's finished. Also on July 1st is The Howling Hag Mystery by Nickie Thornton, the author of the Last Chance Hotel series. So this one follows a murder in a village, and there is a hag who is heard howling at an inn, and a secret witch called Raven ends up, she might end up having a rival, somebody who practices the worst kind of magic. She ends up teaming up with an amateur sleuth as well as Nightshade, who is a talking cat, to solve the mystery. On July 8th is the sequel to The Ship of Shadows, which is called Secrets of the Stars by Maria Krishnia, and I do have a final copy of it, and I've also read this one and absolutely loved it, and I will be having an interview with Maria on July 9th, so I will leave a link to that interview down below so that you can set a reminder for that or catch it after the fact. So yes, The Ship of Shadows, the first one was about an all-female cast of characters aboard this legendary ship called the Ship of Shadows, and we end up following Elia, who leaves her home and she joins the crew of the Ship of Shadows to find this map that has been hidden across the world. There's different parts of it that when put together ends up revealing a secret location. So Secrets of the Stars does follow on with that storyline where you see them go on to different adventures, go to different places, and it is such a great story, especially for fans of Pirates of the Caribbean. So yes, I would highly recommend it. On July 8th we have The Battle for Ro by Jenny McLachlan and illustrated by Ben Mantle. This is the third and final book in the Ro series, which started with The Land of Ro, and I really enjoyed The Land of Ro. I still need to read the second book, but I'm still excited for the third one. I might try and read them all together. This series follows Rose and Arthur, and it says I'm going to this legendary land of Ro, which they thought they made up as children, but turns out it's actually real. Don't know what the third book is going to be about, but I really enjoyed the adventure aspect of the first book, so I hope it carries on into the final book. I'm sure it will be a really thrilling conclusion. On August 3rd, we have Eva Evergreen and the Cursed Witch by Julie Abe. So excited to read this one and the first one together. I've heard it's perfect for fans of Kiki's Delivery Service, and we do follow Eva, who is practicing to be a novice witch in the first book, I believe. She must pass this kind of coming of age quest in order to become a fully fledged witch, or I think she could end up losing her powers. It just gives me those really whimsical vibes from just the covers alone, and I do own the first one. I was waiting for the second one to come out so I could read them together, so it'll be a perfect time in August to read them. I think it's going to fill you with a lot of magic. On August 5th we have Adam 2 by Alistair Chisholm, and I did just get the approved copy recently, and I'm so excited to read it. Like, honestly, I loved Orion Lost, which was Alistair Chisholm's first book, and this is his follow-up. It's a different story. It doesn't follow Orion Lost, but I've just been excited to get another Alistair Chisholm book in my hands, and it's finally here. So the robot Adam 2 has been locked in a basement for over 200 years in this lost building. Two children end up coming across Adam 2 and I guess, reawakening him, and he ends up entering this world that has been torn apart by a civil war between civilization, human civilization, and artificial intelligence. I think it's got a lot of twists and turns, just like Orion Lost did, so yeah, I'm just super excited to give this one a chance. Also on the 5th of August is The Peculiar Tale of the Tentacle Boy by Richard Pickard. So in this one we follow a young girl called Marina who lives in this seaside village where everyone is obsessed with fish and seafood and all of that, except Marina. She doesn't really care much for it. Marina ends up coming across this pier where a young boy has like a tentacle head and crab claws for hands, and she ends up having to help him find out the mysteries of his past. It sounds a little bit like Luca, which I just watched on Disney Plus, which was awesome. Also on August 5th is The Memory Thieves by Darren Simpson. So we follow Kyan, I think his name is, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I might be totally wrong, who has lived in the Elsewhere Sanctuary for such a long time. He ends up finding this mysterious warning carved into this whale skeleton, which I guess spirals him into this adventure, this discovery, this mystery. So he has to find out more about this sanctuary, what the sanctuary is hiding. I think there is a Dr. Haven, and I'm just like, what is Dr. Haven's deal? But it just sounds really good, it sounds really fast-paced and adventurous, so I'm excited to read it. The last one on August 5th is Once Upon a Crime by Robin Stephens. This one is a short story collection from the world of Murder, Most and Ladylike. Murder, Most and Ladylike follows Daisy and Hazel, who are junior detectives who solve mysteries. This one has apparently 4 never-before-published stories, short stories in that world, and I love the sound of them. One of them is called The Case of the Second Scream, and then The Case of the Uninvited Guest, The Hound of Weston School, and The Case of the Deadly Flat, and all of them sound really good. I'm probably more excited for The Case of the Second Scream because apparently it's set on a ship, and I'm really excited about that. Out on August 10th is Ghost Girl by Ali Malinenko. I hope I've said that right, but it's apparently perfect for fans of small spaces. This one actually sounds really nice and spooky, and you will see I have more kind of spooky books also on this list. I'm really feeling them this year. The synopsis of this is very vague, but it does say that Zoe Puckett is the main character and she loves ghost stories. People go missing and there's this creepy new principal at school. She notices all these frightening things and nobody believes her. So I don't know what else really happens. Like, I'm glad that the synopsis is so vague so that it doesn't spoil anything, but it just looks great. I love the cover of this one and I'm very excited for it. Another really creepy one, and it's out on August 31st, is The Hidden Seek by Nate Sinasek. I hope I've said that right. I probably haven't. This is another one that's apparently perfect for fans of small spaces and goosebumps. So this one follows a brother and sister who are transported to this cursed world of hide and seek, where the shape-shifting witch is after them, and the only way to get home is to win the game. It sounds very similar to Hide and Seeker by Dacre Herman, and I absolutely love that book, so I'm really excited for The Hidden Seek. I think it's going to be so awesome. Love it. Love the cover. It looks very creepy. I'm all for it in 2021. All of the spookiness. Another creepy one out on August 31st is called The Dollhouse by Charis Cotter. I'm noticing that every single atmospheric, creepy middle grade book that is coming out, every single one has, this will be perfect for fans of small spaces. Every single one. So this one follows Alice and her mum. They end up going to live with this elderly lady, and Alice's mum is working as an live-in nurse. Don't know why I struggle with that. Alice finds a dollhouse in the attic that is a replica of the house she's living in, and I believe strange things start to happen. So dollhouses do creep me out a little bit, so I hope this one will also creep me out. Again, as I said, creepy vibes all the way. Right, we're on to September now. I do feel like there's loads in July and August that are coming out, but I couldn't really find all that many. The main chunk from this video is going to be books that come out in September, because there is so much coming out in September. Honestly, it's ridiculous. We're all getting bankrupt in September, let's be honest. So firstly, on September 2nd is Artie and the Blue Guards by Jasbinder Balan. This one follows Artie, who lives on an island with her aunt. She has this book of Indian myths, and one day this drowned boy washes up on the island. I believe Artie has to unravel some family history and learn the truth about herself and her family, and it just sounds really, really good. The drowned boy is not actually dead. He does help her with that, but that's just what the synopsis says. He was a drowned boy who washed up on the island. So that sounds really good. I love Jasbinder Balan's writing, and I think this is going to be another fantastic one by her. Also out on September 2nd is The Week at World's End by Emma Carroll. I have a proof copy of this, which I am so excited to get into. So this one is set against the backdrop of the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we follow Stevie, who finds this runaway girl in his shed, and the girl claims that she is running away from people who are trying to poison her. The girl's increasingly strange behaviour ends up unsettling Stevie, and it sounds like it's going to be thrilling. It does sound thrilling. I love historical middle grades. They always are so great, and Emma Carroll is the queen of historical fiction, so I'm excited to give this one a bloody good shot. Also out on September 2nd is The Halloween Moon by Joseph Fink, and guess what? This one has not been compared to Small Spaces. Incredible. This one follows a Halloween obsessed girl called Esther, and she goes out trick-or-treating one last time in her hometown, only to find out that her entire town is under this kind of mysterious presence. There's something strange going on in her town, and I think she has this one Halloween night to solve the mystery. Any kind of book set during Halloween is gonna excite me, so yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm reading this for Halloween. Also out on September 2nd is The Puffin Portal by Vashti Hardy. This one is a sequel to The Griffin Gate, and they are dyslexia-friendly books from Barrington Stoke. Now, The Griffin Gate follows Grace's family, who are wardens of the Griffin Map, and that is able to transport people to wherever they want. Not sure what the second book is going to be about, but if it's anything like the first one, it'll be a little bit steampunkish with some fantastic illustrations by Natalie Smiley in it as well. Also out on September 2nd is Julia and the Shark by Kira Millward Hargrave with illustrations by Tom DeFreston. I do have a proof copy of this. I've not long finished it, and I thought it was absolutely gorgeous, wonderful, amazing. The writing, the illustrations, they just came together so beautifully. So excited for this one to come out. The final copy looks absolutely gorgeous. But it does follow Julia, who accompanies her parents to this lighthouse so that her mum, who is a marine biologist, can search for this very rare shark. I don't want to give away anything about the plot really, but it has this fantastic exploration into mental health, depression, and everything that comes with that. So highly recommend it. Cannot wait for the final copy. Also out on September 2nd is The Unexpected Tale of Bastien Bonlivre, or Livre, I'm terrible in accents, I'm so sorry, by Claire Povey. Yeah, I have a proof copy of this, I'm excited to read it. The Unexpected Tale of Bastien Bonlivre. Oh god, I'm terrible. So in this one we follow Bastien, who is trying to finish the story that his parents started in this red notebook, and on the other side of Paris there is this author, this villainous author, who is masterminding his greatest plot yet with his dastardly brothers. So then Bastien and his friends must stop the villainous author and his brothers from stealing their ending, and it sounds so good. I love the setting. I think it's going to be really adventurous, really fun, and can't wait to read it. Also on September 2nd is Shadowgast by Thomas Taylor. This is the third book in the Eerie on Sea series, which started with Malamander and then Gargantus, and Malamander and Gargantus are two of my favourite middle grades. Absolutely love them. Cannot wait for Shadowgast. I can't really tell you much about what Shadowgast is going to be. It does say there is a creepy magician with a shadowy act, and a legend that goes back to the dawn of time. So each book has kind of followed a sort of different kind of creature or different villain. So it's really hard to explain, but we do follow Herbie Lemon, who is a lost and finder at the Nautilus Hotel, and Violet Palmer, who is a lost girl who Herbie ends up having to try and help to find her missing parents. So I'm really excited to see where Herbie and Violet end up in this one, because I just love following their adventures. They're so fun to follow, and I love the world that Thomas Taylor has painted. I just love Eerie on Sea. It's so atmospheric, so brilliant, and definitely up there as one of my most anticipated for this quarter. Also on September 2nd is Dragon City by Katie and Kevin Sang. It was supposed to come out a little bit later, but it's been pushed forward, and this one is the sequel to Dragon Mountain and Dragon Legend. It is part of the Dragon Realm series, and this is the third book. I'm really excited for this one because book 1 also had a cliffhanger, book 2 had a cliffhanger, no doubt book 3 is going to have a cliffhanger, but this one will follow the events of book 2, which I cannot spoil for you, but it does follow 4 kids who end up forming this bond with dragons, these legendary dragons, and they have to stop the Dragon of Death from pretty much destroying the world. It's such a fun, light-hearted, adventurous, action-packed series. I have such a great time reading them, and yeah, I can't wait for book 3. But if there's going to be another cliffhanger, I swear. Out on September 7th is Power and the Soul Stealer by Laurie M. Lee, and this is a Rick Riordan Presents book, so I'm automatically excited for it. This one is going to be inspired by Southeast Asian mythology, so I'm really excited to see how that is explored. So this one follows Power, and I might be pronouncing her name wrong. She is an 11-year-old girl who has the ability to see spirits, and she accidentally unleashes an evil spirit from a haunted bridge in her town. There is apparently a warrior shaman who has a bit of an attitude problem in this as well, so I'm excited to see how characters interact, how the mythology is weaved into the story, which I think pretty much all Rick Riordan Presents books are so great at doing. And I think this is Laurie M. Lee's debut, or at least her middle grade debut. I think she has written books that are for older audiences, but this one I think is her middle grade debut. Also out on September 7th is The Circus at the End of the Sea by Laurie Snyder. This one is one that I hadn't really heard much about, but I just stumbled across it accidentally and it looks so good. Love the cover of it. So we follow Maddie, who believes in magic, and she ends up finding this hidden or like secret street circus amongst the canals and boardwalks of Venice Beach, and this circus is in danger and I think Maddie has to try and save it. I've seen a couple of good reviews from it so far and I just think it's going to be like such an underrated one, so I'm really excited to see what that one will bring. Out on September 14th is What Lives in the Woods by Lindsay Curry, and this is the proof copy I was kindly sent. I cannot wait to read it. It's going to be perfect for the spooky season, and if it's anything like Scratch, which I loved, then I think I'm going to love this one too. This one follows Ginny, who wants to spend the summer like relaxing, but her father ends up taking the whole family to, where is it, Michigan? Yeah, where they have to stay in this haunted mansion. So it's called Woodmore Manor, and it is a very large building and there is these haunted woods around it. Locals claim that there are creatures or mutated creatures in the forest that were created by a mad scientist from 100 years ago. So this one sounds like it weaves in like a kind of urban legend kind of feel to this haunted ghost story, and honestly I think it could be Lindsay's best book yet, and genuinely when I say I'm excited, I'm bloody excited for this one. So excited for it. Out on September 16th is The Bewitching of Aveline Jones by Phil Hicks. This one is a sort of follow-up to The Haunting of Aveline Jones, which I read last year. It was such an underrated book. Like, it was the perfect book to read for Halloween. It just had all of the creepy vibes. I loved it. But I think you could probably read this one without having to read the first one because it follows a whole different storyline. So Aveline ends up being thrilled that her mum has rented this gorgeous cottage, which is apparently next to a stone circle that was used by witches hundreds of years ago. Aveline then ends up meeting a girl called Hazel, and there is something a little bit strange about Hazel, and I guess just assuming from the title alone there's going to be some kind of bewitchment of Aveline Jones in this one. It's such a great little mystery series. Honestly, it's so short, so quick to get through, so atmospheric, so brilliant. I just got approved of it on NetGalley, so I think I'm going to end up reading it like very, very soon. I can't wait until the spooky season to read this. So, God, it just looks so good. It looks so good. I don't know how it's going to top The Haunting of Aveline Jones because that one was so good, but this one looks like it's going to be a fantastic follow-up, but I do think you could probably read them out of order. Also out on September 16th is Pages & Co. The Book Smugglers by Anna James. This is the fourth book in the Pages & Co. series. So this one actually follows Milo instead of Tilly, and Milo is a character we met in the third book on the Sesquipedalian, which was like this magical train. I don't want to go like too into depth with like Milo and Milo's story because he is such a fantastic character in the third book. I don't think you have to read the first three books to read this one. It's kind of like its own new trilogy. So we have the first three books which were about Tilly, and then we go into Milo in this next trilogy. But Horatio is Milo's uncle and he is the owner of the Sesquipedalian, and he has a lot of dodgy dealings with people. He does a lot of book smuggling, so Milo ends up finding himself in a very dangerous position. He enlists the help of Tilly Pages, who we know and love from the original trilogy, of course. But Tilly ends up having her own problem because there are poisoned copies of The Wizard of Oz that ends up getting into the hands of Tilly's grandfather as well as Horatio, that sends him into deep sleeps. So honestly, I love The Wizard of Oz so much. It's like one of my favourite childhood stories ever. Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. I always love the way Pages & Co. incorporates classic stories and brings that magic and love of reading to life. Cannot wait for this book. Definitely one of my highly anticipated of this year. So it's just going to be fantastic. It's going to be so good. And then another one that I'm just genuinely so excited about, and it also comes out on September 16th. Honestly, September 16th is the day for it. And that is Danger at Dead Man's Pass by MG Leonard and Sam Sedgman. This is the fourth book on the Adventures on Train series, and this one honestly looks like it's going to be the best one yet. The cover, the synopsis of this one, I just can't wait. So on each Adventures on Trains book, we follow Harrison or Hal, who solves mysteries on trains. But each of the books have been set in different locations. We had the UK in the first book, we had America in the second book, we had South Africa in the third book, and now we have the German mountains. This one looks like it's going to have all of the spooky vibes, because apparently there is this ancient family curse like high in the German mountains. So Hal and Uncle Nat have to go to Germany to help the Kratzensteins, who are this family of really wealthy people, and they apparently have this curse on them, and they have to investigate what is going on. Honestly, it just sounds so good. It just sounds so brilliant. Can't wait. Oh, I love the series so much. Out on September 21st is Room to Dream by Kelly Yang. This is the third book in the Front Desk series. So we had Front Desk and then Three Keys, both of which I adored to bits. They're two of my favourite middle grade contemporary books of all time. I don't really know too much about what the third book is about, but the series in general follows Mia Tang and her mum and dad who immigrate to America from China, and they end up running a motel together. It does say that in the third book they end up going on vacation to China. So that will actually be really interesting, especially seeing how the characters changed so much in the first two books and how they adjusted to life in America to then go to China. And I don't know, it just sounds like it's going to be a brilliant look into that. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. Oh my god, the next one as well. I'm so excited for September. Okay, September 21st is also Last Gamer Standing by Katie Zhao. Oh god, I'm so excited. This one apparently follows Reina, and in this like world, gaming is like live, gaming is everything. And there are championships and all of that stuff. Reina is an up and coming champion and she competes in these VR battles against AI and all of that. She ends up getting blackmailed and doxxed by an anonymous troll, and she ends up having to try and fight the toxic gaming community, which is mainly dominated by men and boys. So she ends up putting up a really good fight. Cannot wait to read it. It sounds incredible. Oh, I'm so excited. Out on September 30th is The Book of Stolen Dreams by David Farr. I got a proof copy of it, and I'm actually going to show you what the box was like, because I ended up getting it in this incredible box here with, you know, The Book of Stolen Dreams on it, and then it opened up into like this incredible package. It was just incredible. And then of course the actual book. So this one follows Rachel and Robert, who are given this stolen book from their librarian father, and they have to run away with it. They have to protect it with their lives. What they have to do is uncover the secrets of the book, find the final last page of this book before the cruel Charles Malstein catches up to them. What's incredible as well is that the proof I've been sent, the package I was sent, was apparently 14th out of 35. And honestly, I feel so special about that. Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate it. This was from Usborne, so thank you so much, Usborne. You know how to butter me up, and I am definitely going to be reading this ASAP. Even just the synopsis alone sounds incredible, so I'm really excited for it. Also out on September 30th is Fireborn, 12 in the Frozen Forest by Aileen Fowler. This is the proof copy of it, which I read recently too, and I really enjoyed this one. So this one follows 12, and she lives in a village where this young girl is kidnapped, taken, and she ends up going after her because nobody else in the village seems to want to. It's a really great adventure story. It's very bleak, it's very atmospheric, and it leads 12 into this incredible adventure in this forest, which leads to the Frozen Forest, and it's so good. It's really good. I think it's going to be the first in a series, or at least it better be, and I can't wait to see more from what this author does. Also out on September 30th is The Shadows of Rookhaven by Padre Kenny, and this is the sequel to The Monsters of Rookhaven, which I read last year and really enjoyed. It was so dark, so atmospheric. The illustrations as well by Edward Bettison were just incredible. They leaped off the page. It was so scary, and I thought it was a fantastic ride. Cannot wait to see what happens in this one. I don't really know what happens in this one, but in the first book we did follow Mirabelle, who is part of this monster family, and they live in a house that is sort of protected from the outside human world. And one day an orphan brother and sister end up accidentally coming through the veil, and it's just so good. It's a great story. Yeah, that's all I'm saying about it. I'm not spoiling anything else about it. But the second book, I guess, continues the storyline, and yeah, it's going to be really good. Perfect for Halloween. And then finally, September 30th, we have Frostheart 3 by Jamie Littler. This one is apparently going to be the last one in the trilogy, and I'm devastated, honestly. Like, I never want the series to end. I do know that it has to come to an end at some point, but I'm going to cry when I read this. I just know I'm going to cry. The cover hasn't been revealed yet, so this is just a placeholder cover at the minute. Honestly, this is my #1 anticipated book of the year ever, and this follows Ash, who has these incredible powers where he can speak to the Leviathans, which are monsters in the Snow Sea, and we follow Ash and the crew of the Frostheart along with his Yeti guardian Tobu to try and find Ash's missing parents, who have left him this lullaby, and he has to like decipher it. It's an incredible adventure series. So much goes into it. I cannot explain it all. I explain it all the time. I never shut up about the series. It's my favourite middle grade series of all time. Yeah, and it's going to be the last one. So it's the last one in my video. But also, that's the way it works with the release days and the alphabetical order by author surname. So yeah, it's the last one in my video, and I'm just, oh god, it's going to be a trip. It's going to be a trip. I'm telling you, god. Anyway, yeah, Frostheart 3. Oh, yeah. I don't even know what the subtitle of it's called yet. Like, I need to know. I need to know right now. I need to know everything. I'm just too impatient. I need to know everything. I need to know the synopsis, which after the cliffhanger of book 2, you need to read this one. Book 2 just ended in a way that made you think, oh my god, book 3 now. And I've had to wait since, did I read it in August last year? I think it was August when I read Frost Heart 2. I read it on NetGalley. And I've been waiting, man. I've been waiting. I've been patient. So I need this. I need this so much. Anyway, that was my video. Them are all of the books that I'm really excited for in July, August and September. I mean, there are more books that I'm excited for, but those are the... Well, I had to narrow it down as much as I could. But do check out that spreadsheet down below if you want to check out more books coming out in this time period, as well as pure links for the books as well that I have mentioned, if you would like to check them out. And yeah, that's it for the video. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, let me know which books you're excited about in this time period too, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!